Well, hello, listener. Listen, I am noticing a trend of a lot of us, and mostly women, are hitting our burnout points. We are hitting our walls and feeling like our entire world has crumbled and fallen apart. Or you could be like me and have that feeling of when you're drowning and you can't breathe and you're not sure which end is up. That's the moment where we can either take that as a breakdown or a breakthrough. And here at Find Your Flow, we choose breakthrough. And my guest here with me today, Camilla Calberg from Copenhagen, all the way from Copenhagen. She's here to join us because she is an executive coach, an award-winning executive coach, a business mentor, keynote speaker, and the founder of She Leads and the Authentic Leadership Movement. Camilla, I'm so excited to have you here with me. Let's dig into emotional intelligence, authentic intuition. Yes, please. And nervous system mastery, because I do believe that the way to change our lives, the very first step is to sort of rein in our nervous systems, create a space of calm within so that we can experience calm without distraction. Camilla,
Yeah.
welcome to Find Your Flow.
Woo! I'm so excited to be here, Lisa. And it's going to be such a powerful conversation and heartfelt and maybe also a bit vulnerable.
Just a little bit. Our topic is a big one. It
is,
really
and
is.
very
but
important.
It's extremely important. I'm seeing it in every guest. I'm seeing it in listeners. I'm seeing it everywhere around me. Burnout is real. And more than anything, I think women, as a large majority, they are the audience here. And to me, and maybe I'm just personalizing it because I'm a woman and I identify as female, burnout is real. How did we get here and how do we get through it? So I believe that that's with a state of flow, to remember our flow state, our natural state of being. So my very first question to you is, what is your definition of flow?
Wow. My definition of flow, or maybe just for the listener, when I start my own personal development journey, I couldn't even relate to flow. I just have to share where I started, because also emotional intelligence, now I train and teach and guide women to become more intelligent. I started with minus. I didn't know anything about emotional intelligence. But for me now, having worked through so many layers, being in flow is really feeling calm within, because most of my life, my nervous system had been my strategy, survival strategy.
Ooh.
So I know now I can feel when I'm in flow, when I'm happy, when I'm really relaxed. That is flow for me.
So that's survival strategy. I think the majority of all humans on the planet are existing in a survival strategy. And I don't say that as a dig to anyone. I say that with zero judgment. We're really good. Humans are really good at surviving. That is the lowest common denominator. That's our benchmark. We hit it. Every day we wake up, we've hit that benchmark. So our entire lives have been set up to survive, not to thrive, not to be our best, not to be brilliant, not to be calm, not to be peaceful. It's literally avoid being eaten by the saber-toothed tiger. Like that is the extent of how we all exist. And that burnout, that breaking point, that everything crumbling down. So listen, listener, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. It's a shit show. It's terribly difficult when you wake up one day and go, wait a second, I've created a life just for staying alive, just for surviving. I want more. And that's a tough realization to make all of a sudden one day. You go, I can't take it anymore. There has to be more. Can you talk to me about that breaking point for you personally?
Yeah. Oh, I love it. And my whole body's responding now. Like, this is so important. I'm so glad to be here in the studio with you and have this conversation. So I had 2 breaking points. The first breaking point. So I've been serving BP. I think I was in BP. I had an international career. Like, I had chauffeurs in London. I had everything. Then came home, Lisa. I was sitting there really proud of wine in my glass. I say, is this all there is to life? I said, is this all? but I didn't know how to move forward.
Yeah.
So I had no one else in my surrounding, like wanted to be more. And what does that even mean? Like, and nobody was talking about it. But I was sitting with this and pondering, is this all that is? That's quite boring, right? Sounds good, right? First class and that. But where's the meaning? But then the second breakthrough came when it was very different, but still the same, is that I was coming from a limiting self, lower self. I manifested, we now know I'm a match, manifested toxic relationships and faced what I call being in bed with my enemy. Like my then partner suddenly filed open a court case, and someone you live with, slept with, suddenly we have to be in court. Anyway, but my mirror moment came that I was discussing in court with judges and lawyers about energy. And if I did not, we were 5 people in the room, and they told me, this is so deep. My body's responding.
I'm shaking. Guess.
They said my daughter was struggling with PTSD because it was so toxic psychological violence. They said, and I had a nervous breakdown in court. They said, if you do not elevate, Camilla, you will my body's like, you will never be able to heal your daughter. So I was sitting there.
Who said that in a courtroom?
Yeah, the judge and the therapist. Yeah. So when I sat there, I just knew I had to get this to so many other people. 5 people in the whole world has no insights about how they live in survival and how it impacts their children. That is also one of the reasons why I want to share my story and be on your show and see who I can serve and how I can serve. Because understanding how your limiting self and how your survival impacts your children gets me to say, okay, we get to become back into flow, learn how to be in flow so that we can also set our children up for success.
So that is like the whole point of this show is to share other people's definition of flow, because I truly believe when you're in that moment of, laying on your bathroom floor crying, you have not a clue what flow is. It's the reason you are laying on the floor crying. And because you're so far detached from it, the word doesn't have any meaning. It doesn't even come up in your life. So number one, thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for sharing your definition of flow, because I truly believe that helps the listener identify, wait a second, that's what I want in my life. I want things to be easier. I just maybe don't know how to get there. But damn, her story, I can identify with that. And I think as a mother myself, I think we are prone to take bold steps forward for our children. I think as a parent, you'll hold a boulder back for your child. You will lift the car off your child. You will do these amazing feats of bravery for your children. You won't necessarily do that for yourself, but you are damn well rest assured you will do it for your children. And listen, if that's your number one motivator, let that shift you. Let that get you out of where you are right now. Make a bold movement. Take that 10 seconds of courage and make a step forward. In that new space of I can be really strong for others, can we recognize that now you have to shift into the I can be really strong for myself? And
most of us don't do that. Sorry. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. And while I can be very strong for someone else, my God, I can be even better if I'm strong for myself. And in there lies the work that you do.
Exactly.
Because your work is to empower women. And I love that you empower women to be their own CEO and allow them to recognize and empower them to be able to step into their highest version. Can we do that? And can you in the next 50 minutes tell us how we're going to? Oh, small request.
We should do a masterclass on this, right?
We really should. We should.
Okay, is that the mic open so I can share?
Yes, it's all you. Whoop,
No,
I pass.
No, I want the conversation. Okay, there's so much, and it was so powerful. I think, where do I want to start? Because and I get so angry, but I'm so passionate about this. Because I've been there. I've been 20 years in corporate, serving BP, Shell, and IBM. I've been there, but I also know, and now I understand, my body's so responding. Why is that? It's so powerful, this conversation. that most of us have been taught to be a worker, trading hours for money. I call it the doer, the transactional leader. I truly believe, even though most people say money doesn't mean anything, but what is that we truly want? How do we want our life to be? Right? What if we had just enough money? What would I do with that money? I would invest and serve other people, maybe help children in Africa. Like, how can I contribute to make this world a better place? What we need to do, and this is from my own lived experience, is that we get to give ourselves the power or the permission to be comfortable in our own skin. And that means setting healthy boundaries, telling yourself that you're good enough. I lived most of my life to serve other people. Did they like how I showed up? Like, it could be my sister, my mom, everyone. Did I say something wrong? No, you can't do that as a mom, Camilla. So I allowed it. Allowed it so many people, Lisa, to, with my subconscious power, allowance of permission to control my life. But we get to understand, like the CEO, we can choose how we want to run our life. And most people right now are blaming the outer world why they burn out. But really, they are stuck in overdoing, in overapproving, in people pleasing, putting their kids first. I get it. But we certainly also have to have healthy boundaries, because if you put everyone else first, who is going to break down? You. It doesn't work that way. We have to really, if we want to, understand that in order to live a great life, we have to put ourselves first and say no with grace. That's my mission, to help other women understand that. Not understand, but to live it.
Yes, that. There's a conceptual, I understand it. That's the easy part, everybody. Like, you think just learning that is the hard part. No, it's putting it into action, intentional action in every moment of every day. That's the hard part. But here's the good news. It gets easier. It does.
Gets easier. Yeah. And also you get your whole podcast, and it's all about flow. And flow means effortless. It means, what does effortless mean? I didn't have that word in my vocabulary 7 years ago. Abundance, I didn't know, I couldn't relate. But that of being in high energy, in frequency of unconditional loving, where you set healthy boundaries for yourself, then life gets more fun. Everyone gets happier, and your children conform us, accept your boundaries. For example, just before we're going live, my daughter, Lisbeth Sophia, came in and said, "Hey, I just want to use your computer. It doesn't take that long." Hey, you can't do that right now.
Love that.
Before, yeah, right? Oh, yeah, there's 2 minutes. I get to just look at, I get to prepare. Before I knew how to hold myself accountable, I would get really angry. But now,
right. How
right?
dare she? Yes.
No, it's me. And then that energy, I would come into the studio with that energy, and I would my head would headache and all that stuff. Now I said, all right, now I get to talk to Lisa. We have this amazing conversation. Then afterwards, we'll get sorted what you need to do. And she said, okay. She accepted it. It took me a while. That's what we talked about before. And right, is that it takes some practice. Because will they accept me? Will they love me? But the more you protect your own boundaries, the easier it gets, and the more people actually respect you.
Yes. I remember when I first started this journey of who am I? I have 2 kids, and when our youngest one was going off to school full day, I said to my husband, "Oh, I can go back to work now. I've got time during the day. I can go back to work." And he said, "You can. Yeah, you could absolutely do that. Or you have, 5-hour window here where you could maybe explore the things that you really like and have never had the time to do." And I went, I don't even know what that looks like. I was so busy in trying to be a great mother that I had completely lost track of me, who I was. And when I look back even farther, I was trying so hard to be a great wife that I lost track of who I was and what I wanted with my life. And I'm not saying that any of that was wrong. I'm not saying any of that was bad. It's all added up to where I am today. But it was that one statement that my husband said, yeah, but what if you started to explore what you enjoy in life? And that's when I started an adult ballet class. I felt like a giraffe trying on a tutu. From there, I discovered the gyrotonic method, which went on to completely change my life and introduced me to a career path I had no clue was even a possibility. It wasn't even on my radar to think and hope and dream about. It just didn't exist. And that introduced me to a whole new world of the arts and movement and how can we bring all of this together, which then snowballs into my own healing experience and then sharing it with others and on and on and on. But when I had to go for training, when I had to go 2 weeks in New York City away from my kids, I had a panic attack and I said, I can't do this. I can't. Who am I to go up to New York City and not be a mother for 2 weeks? The whole house will burn down. Everybody will die. No one will eat. Who am I? And my husband, God, I love him. He said, don't worry about it. My brother will come. He'll stay with us. We'll eat. It won't be the best meals, but we won't die in 2 weeks. We'll be fine. Now, listen, while in New York, I also got a photo of my son who had shaved his head. And I went, I think the wheels are coming off the cart down there in New Jersey. How about you not shave each other's heads? But all of that to say, if that was the worst thing to happen in over a 2-week period, then that's great. But you want to know the best thing that happened?
Sure. Tell me.
I learned that I was me again. I learned that Lisa existed. I learned that Lisa, the mother, was awesome, but Lisa, the person, had value, had vision, had hopes, had dreams, had capacity, had possibility, had growth. And that was everything. It was like the tree had new roots and I was able to grow more and reach farther and really start to blossom into who I am today. And that's not to say it was easy. That was, my God, nearly 20 years ago. 20 years, it's not been an easy journey. It's had its ups, its downs, its whirlarounds. But I think I'm a much better version of myself today because I had that moment of awakening and reintroduction to myself. How about this next wave of women who are waking up in this space of, what? What do you mean I could be someone different? How about it not have to take them 20 years? How about this process can be so much easier and so much faster?
We should do a masterclass.
We should. We really should.
We should.
Let's do a little mini masterclass right
Let's do
now
that.
and take
Yeah.
the listener through that. What does that look like? I'm a bit obsessed with money right now. And if you're anything like me, you are too, whether it's making more or holding on to it. But here's the thing. The problem isn't the money. And it's not a sense of self-worth either. I'm sure that you know you're worth a shit ton more than you're bringing in right now. The problem is with your nervous system. The bottom line is that you're really, really good at staying alive. It's what we're designed to do as humans, survive. We're literally hardwired for it. Now, so what does that have to do with money? Money flows. It's that simple. Money's an energy and it flows. If our nervous systems aren't calm, then money can't flow. If you're used to working hard, hustling, money can't flow without immense effort. If you can't hold on to money, it's not because of a lack of work. It's from a lack of capacity. So this is my obsession. Healing the nervous system to allow money to stay and flow with ease. Literally build the capacity to hold more. Establish the ease to allow money to flow with ease. And that's what the held container is all about. So if you feel like you brace for life, wait for the other shoe to drop, hang on until the next payday, or panic and avoid money altogether, this program is for you. It's so simple and so impactful. And if you just felt like I threw you a lifeline, lifted you out of a sense of drowning, then this is for you. Go to nagarelife.com to apply. The program is only open to 6 people, and applications are open now.
What is it with, and thanks, Lisa, for sharing your story, which I think many people, many of our listeners can relate to. There's 2 words or labels I put there: social constructs and identity. Most of us tie our identity to a title.
Like I'm sure you did. I mean,
I did, but I had difficulty. I even now have an awareness, a clear awareness of maybe what has always been in me, but I never really been able to, I didn't have the language, is that many of I would say in English, a late mom. I was a mom when I was in the 40s. But when I met people getting their own families in the 20s and 30s, and that I had, what's important for me is my family. And I struggled so much, Lisa, to say, why, who are you? I didn't have the language in that time. But everyone said, I am my mom. I'm not a mom. I am Camilla.
yeah, that.
Woo. So, and then when we allow ourselves to this amazing masterclass in 2 minutes, we get to allow ourselves, or to find, as you did, who am I? Many people, I say more than 90%, cannot answer that question because we have not been taught in school to connect with ourselves. We've been learned, I'm a change manager, I'm a financial expert, I am a title, but you're not a title. You have some skills, and then you do something in a specific area. And that gets us completely disconnected from soul and Kabbalah, right? So 20, we don't want people. I spent 20 years like struggling in this, and you as well. Your epiphany is that time is now to discover who you truly are. What is it? Why are you here on this planet? And if you never, if you're new to that question, I truly believe, dear listener, that we all have a purpose on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you're truly good at? What is your natural gift? Your values, who you want to be deep within. You're not a title. You're not a mask. Who are you? And then through that, who you are, serve as a financial CFO or CEO or marketing manager, whatever that is. But you are not that title. You are you, and you do you have a specific job to help that company grow. And the more you set healthy boundaries, the more you love yourself, the more you own your worth, the more you respect yourself, the better happier you will become, the easier it will be to ask bold questions. You will no longer tolerate what you have tolerated before because it didn't serve you, and life will shift.
That's really hard for the people pleaser.
Yeah, or the opposite as well. But it is.
Yeah.
But it's only hard because it's new.
Can you please repeat that? We should like tattoo that to our forehead. So we have to read it every single day. Repeat that, please.
It is only hard because it's new.
Okay, listener, take that sentence, please. You know, I assign homework. Write that on a piece of paper. Write that many times on a piece of paper. And when I say write, I mean write, don't type. Write it on a piece of paper. Stick it in your medicine cabinet, in your nightstand, put it on your mirror, put it in the drawer where you always have your keys, so that you have to read it 50 times in a day. It starts to imprint on your brain. It's a neural input. You will read that. I'll challenge you to then pause, read it out loud, so that you've got 2 senses working here now, the sense of sight, the sense of voice, your hearing. Allow that to be received by your brain. And there's a small reprogramming that happens because of your brain throughout your nervous system. Take a second. It's a second, everybody, to take a breath, to allow that new imprint to move through your entire body. Takes a breath, move it through your entire body, and feel what those words mean. They sit so heavily, so that these labels that we've given ourselves, these titles that I always say that we've embroidered on cloth and tattooed into our hearts, they can start to come undone. Come undone. I know they feel like they're a part of you, that your identity is strong within that label. But the only label you need is your very own name. Own that. Own that. Camilla, those words. Sister, take us to the next phase. Now what?
Now, let me just double down because what you gave of homework was very important. Because what we tell ourselves, we tend to believe. But if you believe in something that doesn't serve you or doesn't get you closer to where you want to be, as Lisa's language, you want to get it undone. You want to get it out of your body. And if you may ask me right now, Camilla, but how would you do that? And that's a really good question. So that's really the homework. Either join our upcoming masterclass or join someone
That's
else.
right. You're going to join the masterclass. You're going to work with Camilla. There,
Yeah.
That's how you're going to do it.
But you get to really be so curious to say, I'm ready to shift my life. There is nothing that is hard. Because if you're a mom or a leader says it's hard, you are role modeling that. There's nothing it's hard. It's just do. So how do we then do it? That is really the practice. It is not easy. Because we've been imprinted. It's a social construct. And we hear it in the news. It's so hard. It's difficult. No, it's not. It's just new. It's like learning to bike. It was hard in the beginning because I didn't know, or driving. I didn't know how to drive. Now I know. So that is the next. Keep going, keep moving, and remove all your limiting beliefs, because then you are resetting or upgrading your nervous system. You're upgrading or creating a new blueprint for your success.
Oh, Camilla. So I have a program called the Held Container, and within it, there's an exercise of writing down your current belief systems and what you would rather believe. So listener, if you're trying to find like that first step, Camilla just said it, identify your limiting beliefs. Write them down, create a column, write them down. And then what would you rather believe? Write that down. And then
Believe
something
them
that
now.
yes, thank you. Because you can believe them now. It's literally a choice to move from one column to the next.
And if I might double, because this was so hard for me, Lisa, when I believed something and I'm training my clients in that, is that how can I then start to believe something else?
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember. I recently saw something from Brian Tracy. It's like, believe it to achieve it. If you
Yes.
don't like where you are right now in life, you want to start believing something else, because what you believe, you marinate your subconscious, and your subconscious gives you what you believe to be true.
Yes.
That is why it's an emotional intelligence and nervous system. Believe and tell yourself so many times a day. That's a manifestation or the reprogramming, what you want to believe. And then you will attract it. It sounds, I know, it's so easy. It is not easy. It requires commitment.
Simple.
It is simple to understand, but you get
Yes.
really practice that.
Yes.
You fall and you rise, you fall, you rise, and you go down to your default, right? I'm contracting this limiting belief. And I had an epiphany, Lisa, the other day, because how many years did I say limiting belief? But it really is a belief that limits you. And a belief is only, that only a thought that you've been thinking so many times. So you start to believe it. And maybe it's not even your fault. It's not even your
belief. To say that.
It's your parents or your school teachers. It's of best friends. It's maybe not even be your belief. That's why we get to do this emotional cleanup or sprinkling, whatever we call it, continuously to elevate, to go into flow.
I love that. I just recently heard, and I can't remember where I read it, but it was when you have a thought of fear and of doubt, something that limits you, that was never your voice. That was never your voice. That is literally something someone else said and assigned it to you. You, in your most perfect state, would never say something that horrifying. If I believed that I was the worst podcast host on the planet, I, in my most perfect state, would never in a million years believe that. It would never enter my brain. It would never enter my field. Like, legit, don't even think it. It would only be there because someone else said it and gave it to me, and I accepted it. There's the responsibility. I accepted it as truth. That is not my fault, but it is my responsibility. And the second I take ownership of that, I can go, and I'm sorry, Camilla, I'm sorry to all of Denmark, all of Europe, but fuck that. That is no, I do not accept that. My invitation rescinded. Get the hell out of my life. Get the hell out of my mind. Get the hell out of my body. I just don't accept it. So if you feel something, this fear of, well, I fear I'm not worthy. Okay. So you have a fear, identify your fear. Great. Now give it words. I take the I'm afraid of and just replace it with the end of it. Take that off your sentence. I am afraid of whatever, not being worth love. If you take off the I'm afraid of and just say, I am not worthy of love. Come on now. Does that ring true? No, it doesn't. You know it with every fiber of your being. That does not ring true. That should tell you right then and there. That's the intuitive intelligence. That's that emotional intelligence. That's not yours. You weren't born with that. Someone said that to you. Someone gave that to you. And you went, yeah, then that must be true. Boom. And I put it inside me. Get it out.
Absolutely, because we make ourselves ill of that, right? But
Talk to that. Yes.
because our belief, that's very, most of my training also comes from Dr. Joe Dispenza, not most, but in this part, Dr. Joe Dispenza, on neuroscience, what we believe to be true is true, and we manifest that.
Yep.
So if people who are happy, that's abundance, that's happiness. And I usually teach my clients that fear and freedom cannot, and Brené Brown talks about that, we cannot feel both emotions at the same time. And research shows that if we feel I'm going to fall, or it's going to not fall out as I wanted to, what does that create in the body? Tension, fear. And the more we talk about use lower, not high vibrating words. So the other side is that lower vibrating words, it doesn't make you happy. So that is really a construct of that we make ourselves ill and fall ill of that. And there's so many downloads right now. I have one story from Marisa Peers, who got cancer, and she healed herself from cancer in less than a month. And also it doesn't have, this illness does not maybe have to be directly related to, I'm going to have cancer now, for example, right? But it can be a trauma or very stressful situation that goes on in your life. Like I've been like 10 years in a toxic environment and 4 years and it continues in court. That my therapist called it, you're in war. It really requires to be resourceful. And that fear of not knowing, we get ill and burn out when we want control. We want clarity on what's the next step. If we cannot learn to surrender and be in flow, we're using your language, and embracing the unknown, then we almost always prepare to fail.
That's the survival instinct.
Yeah, because we learned nothing else but the worst case scenario. And that worst case scenario, I tested it with my clients a few summers ago. Well, there's a book called Worthy. I think it's from, I can't remember, Trusting Your Vibe from Sonia Croquette, and Worthy from Jamie Khan. So when we talk about something that limits you, your heart contracts, your shoulders get tight, you got pain in your jaws. That is just body signals. And the more we think about that, the more pain we have all over. So we get to really practice. And I don't think you can listen to this podcast. You can listen to this as many times, but you get to, I don't think you can heal yourself without having someone who holds up the mirror. You can read about it. You can watch videos on YouTube, but if you really want to move fast and get out of pain, you want to work with someone, but it's not about investing in them. You invest in yourself.
Exactly.
That's what we want to get across as well. It's not about us wanting your money. We want to help you if it was, but whoever, is about you creating a better life for yourself. That is like, I know both Lisa's and mine mission here on this planet.
I've worked with so many experts over the years. I've worked with so many. And I love that you said, if you want to go somewhere, if you want to go far and you want to be expedient about it and efficient about your healing, you really do benefit from having a guide, someone who can point out, hey, have you thought of this? And that's a weak spot. And here's here's a limitation that's in your life that you would not necessarily have had the courage to see.
But if you could have those skills, you wouldn't be stuck.
Exactly. Exactly. It's
And
the
that's
same
why
thing as like doctors are not allowed to work on family members, right? Surgeons, you always hear about that. Surgeons, you're not allowed to operate on your own family. And then like a psychiatrist will go see another psychiatrist. There's a reason for that. Someone else sees your blind spots. If you're talking to yourself in a vacuum and working with yourself in a vacuum all the time, you're going to miss out on a whole lot and you won't see any changes in your life. You benefit from someone who can come in and be an expert helper, an expert guide. Camilla's not going to do the work for you. She shouldn't do the work for you. I
can't.
don't do the heavy lifting for you. You're going to do that yourself. But we are here to tell you you can do it. And here's maybe something you can consider. And maybe here's something that you've missed. That's our role.
May I follow on that?
Please.
Because I just wish I had a higher level of consciousness, high level of awareness of my life, and a higher level of truth and self-respect. You know as well as me, but I want to really share this. Most people, the study shows that people only reach out for help when they hit rock bottom.
Yes, I know.
But how many years do you want to waste of your life to hit rock bottom before you spend so many years to get yourself together to get up and then be someone for anyone else? Why waste those years? I just wished, Lisa, that I had understood and someone had really called it out. Why are you wasting your life? Because the further you go down in the U scale, the more painful it becomes, and the more effort you have to put into going from survival to thriving. And I see a lot of clients who give up because they don't trust it. But those who do it, they will skyrocket and enjoy life. I just really want to encourage everyone who's listening. Don't wait till you hit rock bottom. Your life is so much more important than that. And you are here on this planet to give someone else with what you maybe cannot give right now because you're stuck. I don't want to continue, but this is so important. Get yourself out of wherever you are.
I am right there with you. Like my biggest wish is that this podcast acts as a catalyst for people and ignites them into realizing they deserve more, that the life that they dream is an actual outcome if they take action. You have to take action. You have to take inspired action every day, which means it has to be something different from what you've done yesterday or even like an hour prior to listening to this. If you continue to do the exact same thing in your life, you will have the exact same result. If you change your behavior, change your actions to be something inspiring, you inspire change.
And it means leaving your comfort zone.
Listen,
grow.
That's right.
If you feel comfortable, just have to put that out, because we want to be really honest there. If you feel comfortable where you are, you don't grow as a human being. And then you accept all your limiting beliefs, all your unhealthy boundaries. If you want to get more meaning into your life, have a get involved in solving some of the biggest problems the company has, you get to grow. Otherwise, as Lisa says, you're just going to repeat your same thinking, your same way of operating year after year after year.
With the exact same outcome.
Exactly. And I got a mentor a couple of years ago who said, and this is also very important, is that many people say, but I've been 20 years in marketing. Yes, but you repeated the same year 20 times.
That's right.
Because you didn't grow your mind. So it's a real competitive advantage to grow, because then you have no competitors, because very few people have not invested in themselves. And that's what I see. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I see more and more posts and conversations on the next leadership skill or edge is EQ. emotional quotient,
Yes.
emotional intelligence. It means
Yes.
growing your consciousness, growing your awareness. And where you stop, because wherever we are, sometimes burnout, going back to that, it's nothing to do with workload. Maybe it is, but you have tolerated that way too long. And you don't know how to with love say, actually, I can help you, but something else has to go. Right now, you're just saying yes out of fear of, will I be a problem if I say no? You don't have the tools. You cannot figure this out yourself. I couldn't, and I don't think anyone else can,
I
because
don't
we
think
get to
anybody
be
else
in
can
room.
either.
No, we get to be in room with people who've been there and have
Yes.
some tools we can learn
Yes.
from. And that is the shortcut, right? We have to do it ourselves, but we can give you the tools that we had to learn the hard way.
Yeah. Here's the other thing. Fear, I love that you said this, that fear stops you from really stretching your comfort zone. And the only way to actually grow is to get out of, to stretch your comfort zone, get out of your comfort zone, make it a lot bigger. And again, that's the role of the expert that you work with. The expert says you're in a safe space to be able to challenge those fears, challenge those limitations. And I'll offer you some tools that can help you break through that barrier and get to the next level of confidence. And then you get to sit in that confidence and see what you create with that new state of being, that new mindset of less limitation. And then you get to do it again and again and again, because it's limitless. And that's the exciting part. So we experience burnout, listener, because you're doing the exact same things over and over and over again. And what used to be okay, what used to be acceptable, what used to be comfortable is no longer. So the only way out is through. I'm sorry, but it's true. The only way out is through. And that means pushing through those barriers, pushing through your comfort, pushing through your limitations. And you've got amazing people like Camilla who can say, I will hold this space for you. You are safe. Let's process what is behind your perceived limitation. Let's process whatever is going through you emotionally, through your nervous system. What are these limitations? Let's move those out so that you're more comfortable being a bigger, better, brighter version of you. And then what do you get to create in that state of existence? That's what's so exciting. I have full body chills. That's what's so exciting.
It is.
My God.
And I just want, it's so beautiful and it's so powerful. And I mean, I don't know the timestamp here, but go listen to what just Lisa summarized, because what I know to be true, your nervous system is your strategy. So
Ding, 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 ding.
Connect with your nervous system, connect with your fears, because fear run your show as every level. But we want to, I learned from, I can't remember, what's her name? I don't know. South African, I don't know. Very good sports coach. Learn to dance with your fears, because fears get you to procrastinate. Fears get you to choose plan B instead of plan A. But you cannot fail. It's only you and your ego. We all have egos.
Mm-hmm.
Really be so curious about what you tell yourself, and don't listen to any of that rubbish thing that holds you back. But nervous system is your strategy.
I love that you just said that, and we'll close with that, because it's something that took me a really long time to get comfortable with. But I'm at a point in my life where if I feel fear, I smile and go, that's my next opportunity.
Yes, it is. It's a green flag. So
It's a green flag, right? So you process what is behind that fear. What is that limitation that you think exists, and go, oh, wait a second. There is a safe way to move through this. There is a safe way to get to the other side of that fear. Camilla, your brilliance. Thank you for bringing your shining light to my show here, to the audience, to the listener. Thank you so much. Your brilliance. And by brilliance, I mean your mind and the knowledge that is in there, but also your energy, your soul, your spirit, your smile, the light in your eyes. Thank you so, so very much.
Thank you, Lisa, for having me. I had goosebumps so many times, and it was so powerful. And whew, I feel so blessed to be here and share what I know to be true from going from rock bottom to be at a place I am now. Is my face is being to a place where I feel inner peace, because I did not always live with inner peace. So I'm blessed I'm here.
And thank you for sharing that with others. Thank you for turning your life lessons, your struggles, into sort of a process for others to be able to learn, grow, and do their own work. Thank you. Thank you for stepping up for the rest of us.
Thank you. Receive your words. Thanks for having me.
So, listener, please, I will have scroll down in the show notes. I've got links to Camilla to find her. You can find her on LinkedIn and Instagram. Is that what you had said?
Yeah, I'm
And
not so active on Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube.
excellent. All right. So we'll have links to her LinkedIn and her YouTube and Instagram for those of you that love Instagram, and a link to work with her, because I truly, 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 truly believe this is the first step. You just have to find the person that works well for you, that you feel safe with. And Camilla is a super, super safe soul to be working with. She is very knowledgeable. She is very kind. She is very confident in her strength to be able to literally hold the space for you to be able to play with your fears and your limiting beliefs and rewrite all of that horse shit into something beautiful. All right, listener, that's all we've got for you today. Thanks so much for being here. Share a comment, share a like, and, share the episode with other people, other women who are maybe experiencing their rock bottom right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, that's it, listener. Before you go, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and set your notifications to never miss an episode. If you'd like even more with me, come on over to nagarelife.com. And if you enjoyed this episode as much as I did, go on and share it. Share it with somebody that you think would enjoy it as well. All right, I'll see you next time.